Test, 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 test. I think we got audio now, if I am not mistaken. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're back. I don't know what went on.
We got it.
We're lost. We're lost. Whew. Thank y'all. Appreciate that as we get this day underway. As we were talking when we went there, we were talking about temperatures. We're sitting at somewhere around 74 right now. And my apologies again for that. Sometimes things just go awry, as the word is. 74 now as we wait for high today around 98. And we're going to have a heat index of 108 today. A hot one. Whew. We got a lot to talk about. Things going on. We'll have a special guest coming in at 7 o'clock. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department will be with us. We look forward to having them, finding out what's going on. Lots to talk about there. We'll be right back as we go now to get you all set up for the day. Let's go to Collinsville, to the First Baptist.
It can be hard to believe that God uses all things for his own purposes and glory, including wicked and terrible things in people. In one of the most famous stories in Scripture, the Israelites leaving Egypt, God tells Moses to go and tell Pharaoh that the Lord has allowed Pharaoh to live, to show him God's power, and to make the name of the Lord known throughout the whole earth. Pharaoh, the leader of Egypt, who kept the Israelites as slaves, was allowed to live to accomplish God's purposes. Proverbs 16:4 gives us more insight on this idea. It says, "The Lord has made everything for his own purposes, even the wicked for a day of disaster." Many verses here in Proverbs 16 speak to God's providence and his purpose. And here in verse 4, the author makes it evident that God uses wicked people for his own divine purposes. God used Pharaoh, a wicked ruler, to make his name known and to show his great power. C.S. Lewis understood this concept well. In The Silver Chair, the sixth installment chronologically of the Chronicles of Narnia, Puddleglum, the ugly companion to Jill and Eustace, proclaims Aslan is their god and says, "He was there when the giant king caused the letters to be cut, and he knew already all things that would come of them." Aslan knew what was to happen and uses these events for his own purpose and glory. In his more popular Narnia book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Narnia is a cold, barren winter wasteland with no Christmas, but hope springs among the inhabitants after the two sons of Adam and two daughters of Eve come into the picture. They remember the prophecy, which states, "Wrong will be right when Aslan comes in sight. At the sound of his roar, sorrows will be no more. When he bares his teeth, winter meets its death. And when he shakes his mane, we shall have spring again. When the great lion comes, winter and evil will meet their end." So remember today that God uses wicked things and people for his glory, even their destruction. Those who trust in the Lord Jesus can be assured and encouraged that wickedness and evil will eventually meet its end. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we begin this day together. Gorgeous day outside as the heat is starting to rise. Let's see, they have found some drugs floating off the coast of Florida. Have y'all seen this? About $625,000 worth floating. Somewhere there's a drug dealer not happy this morning. It's been confiscated. They have no idea whose it is. They're working it. So they told you to go to the radar station in Canada, did they? Oh, it'll be okay. You'll be all alone. They just forgot to tell you about the polar bears. A man has died after he was attacked and killed by two polar bears. He was the only person there at the radar shack. Guess he got too close. You don't think of polar bears attacking, do you? Or at least I didn't. They've always been nice in every cartoon I've seen. That's bad when you're the only person there and they get you. I'm at a loss of words from that. But that did happen there. Columbia University, you know, the university I'm talking about. Do you remember all of that turmoil they had there where it started out with the Israel-Hamas situation? The president of the college has had to resign over it. Good riddance, I say. Things like that happen. You put a stop to it immediately. You don't let it drag on. We'll have an issue like no police in the U.S. of A. You don't know what I mean. Do you know the two astronauts that are hung up in space? They've been there for 2 months so far, and NASA keeps saying we're going to get them back. Now, they're not able to give a lot of answers over this as to when they will really come home. Can you imagine being trapped in space and no one be able to tell you we're going to be there the 13th to fix whatever it is, and you, yeah.
Roadside assistance.
Yeah, yeah. AAA ain't coming, as Odie just said. That's why I want to stay here on the ground. It's not my place up there. What was that the old saying there? If God wanted me to fly, to give me wings, he'd give me an astronaut suit when I was born. That ain't for me. Now, this just goes to show, and we always try to tell it the way it really is. As scientists often dig into things and tell you what they think it is, I sometimes think they just think it instead of having proof of it. There is just no way that they know this. Stonehenge, we've all seen it for years. They have come up with the answer saying that the rocks or rock come from Scotland, and they were shipped hundreds of miles to get to where they are. Y'all know as well as I do, there was not a note left that says this is how we moved it there. That is not the answer. They may think they have the answer, but I'm not falling for it. There's no way. I'll leave it at that. Y'all fill in the blank. Mortgage rates have come down just a little bit, and people are going back. About 35% so far have went back and refinanced their homes, those loans that they had. Every little percentage, the higher the money you got, is a huge difference in your payment each month. Always remember this. Balloon payments are not good. At the end of that, it's whatever interest rate is happening at that moment. Try to get you a fixed rate where you know what it will be. If it gets cheaper, then you go back and refinance it. Those balloons will get you. Or at least that's the way I've taken it. Sad news. We all loved it. We watched it together. I've seen it many times. The Notebook. The wife that was in the nursing home, that played the older part, she has passed away at the age of 94. Gina Rollins was her name. We send condolences to her family. A great actress. She's done lots more than that, but that is one of the roles that I think most people remember her by. Let's see here. Also, famous Amos Cookies. Y'all know that he passed away. He was 88 years old. Those are good cookies. We've all had them. Famous Amos. He has now passed away also. They have a serial killer that's in jail in California. He was confessed at that point when he was booked, killing 12 people. He has now confessed to his 13th. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. It's not a place that... he's been there since 86 is what it looks like. William Lester, he's 73. They don't do things the way they do in Texas is what I'm getting at. He wouldn't have been able to have told that by now in Texas. West Virginia, shame, and everybody knows his name at this point. We've got a West Virginia senator who has been removed from a committee chair. You ask why? Well, he was in a cigar shop doing things that he shouldn't. Indecent exposure is the word I'll use in this. He's a Republican. Shame. His name is Mike Maroney. He's going to be stripped of all of his, no pun intended, of his titles that he had. As we've often said, it doesn't matter what party you're affiliated with. Make sure they're a good person when you cast your vote. Know who you vote for. It's not always. Sometimes it's hidden. We all know that. But study, do research when you cast those votes. Well, let's see what happens October 1st. We've got one that said, I'll do it. Waltz, the guy that's going to be standing beside Kamala in the presidential election, has accepted a vice presidential debate for CBS. J.D. Vance, they're waiting for the answer on that. Now, I've only heard Vance speak. I'd never heard of J.D. Vance until he got promoted. Didn't know him. I didn't see the movie. Still hadn't seen it yet. I hear it's good. Any idea, Odie, how well he'll do in a debate?
He seems like he carries himself pretty good.
But as we all know, the vice presidential debate really doesn't matter. The only time this would have come into play is if Biden was still there. You would have paid closer attention to it because we knew that he wouldn't have made it. November, vote. If you're going to be out of town, make sure to cast your vote early. They have early voting in every place in the United States. Have y'all seen the video that's floating around America right now? Texas is where it was. It was an auto accident. 2 children were sitting in the middle of the road playing in their diapers. And you go, why? Well, after the investigation has happened, the wreck happened and the children did not have seatbelts on. They were thrown from the car. Now, miraculously, they were okay. But that's what that famous picture is that's floating around the U.S. right now. Let's see here. Disney, I've never paid attention to this. You know how you sign the piece of paper or whatever, you agree to the terms when you go in a place? A man went into Disney. His wife had allergies, and she ate something, and he tried to sue over it. And they said, not so fast, and it was thrown out of court because he had signed off on this by going in. That if you have allergies and this, that, and the other, you know the fine print. It's been thrown out. He will not be able to sue. Governor Greg Abbott, he's not backing down. He goes, y'all just hang on. I'm sending more on buses to your state as migrants keep coming to Texas. He ships them to those states where they think it's pretty cool there. Now, before we go to weather and things like that, I got one last comment. You cannot have an election without a pandemic, can you? Of course not. The Canadian government is warning that the country to prepare for a new virus that is far worse than COVID. It's getting no near November, so we've got to come up with something. That's Canada. I'll leave it at that. We're all grown adults. Figure that one out. We'll be right back. We've got your weather forecast coming here at the Scotty Ray Report in just a moment.
As the days get hotter, Sanders Gas reminds you to get your air conditioner tuned up. Sanders Gas can repair or replace your whole unit, whichever you need. Talk to Sanders about a tankless water heater now and never run out of hot water. Find out how easy and affordable it is to cook on gas stoves. And those backyard barbecues are coming. Don't run out of gas. Get yours refilled today. Sanders Gas, since 1946, 611 26th Avenue South, 601-693-4054.
Advanced AutoGlass by Joey can handle all your windshield repair and replacement needs. Service work is guaranteed and covered by warranty. Our technicians are professional, AutoGlass trained, and have over 100 years of combined experience. Advanced AutoGlass by Joey utilizes in-house calibrations for vehicle safety systems. Most insurances are accepted, and reliable mobile service is available in surrounding areas. Keep cars cool and secure with custom tinting, side mirror replacement, and AquaPal windshield wipers. There's one clear choice in AutoGlass repair. Advanced AutoGlass by Joey.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look at today's record highs, here's what we've got. 97, 98 for the Meridian area. As we go northward, you'll see those little thunderbolts there from the National Weather Service. There is a 30% chance of afternoon showers into that forecast now. Could be where we are. As you'll see to the south, southwest of Meridian, Laurel Hattiesburg has a little bit bigger chance than we do. We'll pay attention to that as we go over to Greenwood. Look at this in the Delta today. 99 will top it there, and it'll stay that way about 97 down to Natchez. As we go to Bamaland, here's what we have, about 96 in Demopolis. Rain kind of goes away after you reach Tuscaloosa, Birmingham area. We'll see 93 in Montgomery and cooler in Auburn at 89 today. As we glance across this, the heat is not done. As we look at today, it could reach, again, 110. Forecasted for the Meridian area, which does include Newton, Scuba, DeKalb, and Neshoba County, somewhere around 108 is what we're being told. Tomorrow through Saturday, the Meridian area will back down to a 1 as you'll look at this, still in western Neshoba County. Right through there, we'll have that, and then beginning at Newton, we'll still be in that upper degree up to 110 over the weekend. That's through Saturday is what we're predicting. Now, we'll come back in just a moment, and we'll look at the threat of severe weather on Saturday afternoon. We have a little bit. We'll look at that on radar in just a moment. As we glance at what's going to happen over the next 6 to 10 days, here's what we have. Warm weather, especially to the south as you get near the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We've got more heat coming from Texas, but right now, that big heat wave is going to be south of us there. As we glance at this, here's what we have, the 7-day outlook, 97 to 98, depending upon where you are. They've upped this just a moment ago before we went live to a 30% chance of showers. Now, tomorrow, we've got a 50% chance. And again, The threat of severe weather on Friday will be in northern Mississippi. As we look at Saturday, we'll have that chance in East Mississippi here in the Meridian, Newton, Neshoba County, Kemper areas of having some severe weather, including Clark County. As we move into Sunday, 96 for a high, down to a 20% chance of showers. It'll kind of remain that way between 10 and 20 all the way through next Wednesday is what we're seeing on this. But the temperatures don't really change, 95 to 98 each day. It's hot. As we go another week into this, through the end of the month, through the 29th, we'll see mid-90s carrying us all the way through there. And again, those rain chances aren't high. We see that on the 27th being our biggest day there at 24%. That's not a lot. Not at all. As we look at the fishing forecast for today, do you want to go? Well, your best time to fish is going to be at 9 o'clock this morning through about 11. It will be hot. Your choice if you want to go. Calm wind becoming east around 5 miles an hour this afternoon is what is predicted. Got a minor time right there at 5:30 as you're getting off work to go check that out. Now, Ernesto, this is what we're showing right here, and we'll go to radar and look at it. There's Ernesto, and it looks like Ernesto will stay in the Atlantic. Again, let's pull up radar so we can all look at this together and see where she is or he is, however you want to word this. This morning, we're looking at Ernesto as a Category 1 right here. And again, this stays way away from the states and will move along. And Monday, turning back into a Level 2. This morning, Ernesto is floating along as a Category 1 with winds of 86 miles an hour, gust of 104. We do have 97.9 on that millibars, as we'll see that Ernesto is moving north at 13 miles an hour. And it looks like Sunday afternoon will be, it'll move to a Category 3 tomorrow afternoon around 1 o'clock and then downgrade back to a 2 as it floats along here, coming close to St. John's there to Level 1 next week. But the important part is it's not here. Now, as I mentioned, severe weather Saturday afternoon. Look at this. Let's zoom in on this so you can see this. All of this green will be a Level 1, and this will include the Meridian area. Let's move closer. Let's go down and see just how far this goes as we turn on locations. It's going to be right here. Wayne Academy is going to be the line as it comes across through Waynesboro. As you'll see all of this in Clark County, a part of this, and we go northward all the way up toward the top of the state. But our area here, including Meridian and Newton, Jasper County, all this will have that Level 1 on Saturday afternoon. So lots to keep in mind as we prepare for some rain. We do need the rain. Cool things off and dampen things. I am almost shocked that we hadn't already gotten a burn ban. So far, it's not one listed. Here's what we're looking at heat. Let me show you what the radar looks like. The western side of the state is even hotter than Meridian. Now, it's projected to be here up to 110. As you get near Jackson, Vicksburg, excessive heat warning as we look at that, and it'll be up to 115. Look at that. Right there, 115 on the temperature side as we look at that. Wow, oh wow, oh wow, that's a lot there. As we glance across Neshoba County, if you're in Sandtown, showing 72 there this morning. As we move through Kemper County, if you're there at Caters, about 72 this morning. As we move over into Newton County, as we look at Jeff, Mississippi, it looks like 74. And as you get into the Meridian area, it gets back to that 74 also there. James, good morning. Glad to see you there. Chris joining us. Bob is up as well. We see that Patricia is there. Good morning. Good morning. Chris Walker there. And Hall. Morning. And again, I apologize earlier of that microphone issue. Sometimes equipment does its own thing. And it did this morning. Corrected itself, done all that. We'll be right back. We're shortly away from going live again in about 4 to 5 minutes. Join us as we'll go live with the morning show. What happened locally? We've got it all coming up from the Scotty Ray Report.